video in just
Recording
a
in
second.
progress.
All right. Come on in. Make sure everybody's here. Uh, cool. I am. Alrighty. Let me see here. Okay. Sorry, guys. Getting everybody in. Um, so I am going to do a brief call today with you guys. I know we have fewer people here because of the holidays coming up. But we actually have a thing I have to finish for our Black Friday promo that was supposed to be finished 2 hours ago, but due to tech and due to everybody leaving tomorrow, I have no choice. So I'm going to do my presentation, my talk on what I wanted to share with you guys today, and then hand it over to Derek to finish. So, just letting you guys know what's happening. Oh, Black Friday, you know how it goes. It's like crazy, crazy time of year for we marketers and business owners. How many of you guys got Black Friday specials going on? Any of you? Derek? Anyone? No one
Yeah,
else? Really?
well, coming up in a few days.
Hmm. Okay. No one else? Okay. Well, um, all right. So, first of all, I want to get a feeling of where you guys were at with your book marketing progress and just get a just somebody let me know where you're at if you're stuck on something specific. And before we go into what we're going to be talking about, Glenn, you want to share? I couldn't tell. You were. Nope. I think you're muted. Here, 1 second here, guys. Make sure. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Oh, all right. You there?
I'm here.
All right, cool. Hey,
Hello.
I know
I,
you got like 300 books to write, so where
I
how you
know.
doing?
Well, I think mostly I'm hung up just by waiting for the interactive interface. I'm super looking forward to that. I have so many other things on my plate that
Mm.
I just am not not doing much in the platform right now. But it is high on my list of things that I will be using.
Oh, you're talking about the premium blueprint stuff, the what we talked about the other night? The
What do you call it? Where
core
you
offers? Yeah.
where you uh, like a chat interface for the whole
Oh, strategist. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
strategist. That'll be implemented in inside Book Builder as well, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the in the beta, early beta release of that, which we're hoping to have out next week, the big
Cool.
question is how it's going to do with books because we
Right.
haven't we're testing it specifically with copy. So
Yeah.
it may be one of those things where we just tell you guys the first couple of weeks it's going to be just completely dumb when it comes down to books, but everything else you can test it with, and then we'll figure out what does and doesn't work. Um, in case anybody wants to know, I mean, not to bore you guys with like updates and everything, but we are going to be not only releasing that, but also giving you guys 50,000 words to play with.
Yeah.
So that's what we decided to do for, we're going to try it and see if it works. And if it works and our costs don't go exorbitantly high, then that's what we're going to do across the board every single month. So your words are just going to double. And that's the only way I think if you guys didn't miss that call the other day, that's the only way we could figure out how to make Strategist work to where you guys could use it and it would be beneficial and not drain everything. So that's what we're going to try. That's the best possible world scenario, put it that way. And
Super.
we're going to do it for a month and see how it works.
Right.
If we don't go bankrupt, if we're here after the end of the month, then I'm kidding. I didn't go bankrupt, but yeah, then you'll know it will work. But as far as how it works with books, the problem is, and this is going to be an issue that you guys will have to know, is that it's like if you're using strategist and you're saying, I want this chapter to be more powerful or whatever, some vague thing like that. Um, if you do something like that and the chapter is 1,000, 1,500 words, whatever it's going to be, it's going to do the same thing tuner would do. If you pull in a tuner, but it would do it based on it couldn't pull our individual training models out like Strategist is going to do, but it would rewrite the whole chapter. So just bear that in mind. It would cost words, but that's what we're giving you the words for. So in case you do something like that, or you need to do something like that, you'll have plenty of words to do it. So that's that's rolling out. That's going to be exciting. So okay, so yeah, so strategist as far as how would you use it, Glenn? Tell me, give me a use case here because this will maybe help us. This isn't what I was going to talk about, but I think this could be very important. How would you use it specifically for Book Builder? Like
I
what did
would
you have in mind?
imagine more in a way that it might work more sooner would be, let's say I have a chapter and I say, how do I turn this chapter into a YouTube video or, with a certain,
Hmm.
for a certain market or
Hmm.
things like
Hmm.
that, like how to apply not so much within writing the book is my thought,
Hmm.
but how to take then the book material and use it in other marketing uh, situations.
Or
Right.
maybe you don't even know that it's YouTube. Maybe you're just saying like, how can I take this content, this chapter,
Yeah.
Mhm.
what would be a best way to use it, right?
Yep. 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 For
Yeah.
marketing or,
Yeah.
yeah, in emails or videos or, yeah.
Well, you guys want to try it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you mind me getting departed from what I was going to talk about, which this might be more useful for you? I'm not really sure, but it's funny because we've tried everything. We have not tried it with books, and so I can show you
Yeah.
right now. Like
Sure.
for what Glenn said, how would I take this and turn it into a YouTube video? We already got you covered there. Just select in the chapters. You can automatically turn it into YouTube videos. So that part's already done and done really, really well. So eventually what would happen is strategists would just call that chain refiner and just do it the same way you wouldn't have to find the refiner to do it.
Right.
But
Right.
Paul's question, that's a really good one. Let's find out what it will do. I will come up here
Sure.
and I will actually pull in. Let me
So
make
if I
sure.
ask my question, it would just either point me to the refiner, which would be great because there's so many, I mean, there's so many options, so many possibilities in the
Mhm,
software, which is wonderful. And then that's where the chat's gonna, I think, to navigate, to learn our
mhm.
way around. Uh, but it would either point me to that refiner and say use this, or it might even just pull the refiner up and go ahead and implement it.
Right. So, okay, let me. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys.
Yep.
There's just one small problem. I see what the problem is here. Let me log out of. I'm logged in as a. Need to log in as a demo user.
We could always do a tag team. Derek could jump in while you're setting that up, John.
Exactly, Derek. I'm trying to save Derek's stuff because I'm going to have to, unfortunately, bail early today. So I was trying to do that to where that would be Derek can just take care of things here. Give me 1 second here, guys. Just let me.
I'll
Okay,
just
I'm
say,
pulling up.
as you're pulling that up, just more food for thought before we get to my section. There are a couple different directions I can go into. I didn't see hands raised for Black Friday, but if you do have a Black Friday idea or something, that's something I wanted to discuss. So be brainstorming that right now. And if we have time, we might go through any people's welcome sequences, their email welcome sequence. I'd like to take a look at that sometime, if not today's call down the road. So those are a couple things you might be thinking about as John pulls that up.
Yep. Okay, I've got it here. Sorry about the delay. I just had to find the right account to log into and a book to find. So, okay, so here we have we have a book that we created literally live on a call. And the book it's kind of interesting, just so you guys know what this is. This is a book on etiquette. So we wanted to do something, what's something that would be hard for Book Builder to do. And it did it really, really well. So just to give you just the concept of the book so you can see what it's going to be. The etiquette is centered around the word presence. So that was part of her thing. So confidence code is what it's called. And it's all about etiquette. no forks, no fields, but in order to become a presence in a room. So there's stuff about military because she's a military spouse, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just to give you the idea of where we're going here. So here's just teaching concept one, presence as your calling card, how you show up, you building your presence. So if I came in here and asked strategist, okay, I said, what, Paul, you said, how would I promote this chapter? How best, right?
What are different ways that I can use this content to, achieve more reach, like other ways to use it for promotion? Yeah.
Okay, okay, let's ask it a general question. What are different ways I can use this content to promote my book? Just
Yeah.
see what's going to happen. Okay, it's going to open. Let's see where it's going to call. Okay. Okay, really start. Okay, micro lead magnet. Okay, PDF. Okay, so micro lead, that's using my terminology, so I know it's pulling from the right places. Short social post, LinkedIn carousel, presence is your silent elevator, following slides, your doorways experiment. So it's actually creating the ideas right here for you. Okay, always in with a soft CTA. Use it as a chapter email series. Break the chapter into 3 to 5 emails. Story plus big idea. The doorway experiment. The low stakes practice at home, etc. So this is okay. So it's giving you the ideas. It's doing exactly what we actually coded it to do. Okay, let's take this one here. The chapter email series, which by the way I talk about. I don't know. I don't know which course it's pulling from, but I talk about that in one of the courses I did 10 years ago. So I talk about taking the book and literally dividing it into emails. So I don't know how I found it, but that's really freaking cool. All right, so let's take this as an example. Okay, break the chapter into 3 to 5 emails. Okay, presence beats talking pretty. The doorway experiment. So it actually figured out all the steps in the chapter here. Here are the 5 steps, right? So where we want to go from here is to say, I want you to take number 3 and do it for me. And this would, instead of writing it in here, just like using just general AI, it would like, because we don't want to do that. We don't want to sound like, Chat GPT or something like that. We wanted to call our own email generator. So in other words, it would open up over here. It would close this, open up emails. It would open up emails again. And it would put this into the focus area of the email and say, write 5 emails based on this. And it would have to copy all this stuff. You see, it's very complicated. It's not easy, right? So if I did it just like this right here, it's going to give me an error. If I say, okay, do number 3 and write me those 5 emails. This is what we wanted to get it to do. And it's probably going to tell me, I can't do that. Yep. Let's see. And then sometimes I say that, but maybe they're fixing it. Let's see if it did it. Okay. 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 Yeah, it looks like it's actually using I think it's using our stuff. That's pretty cool. So there we go. Let's see if it will do the whole thing.
This balances out the number of times that you say you have something ready and then you can't get it to show it to us.
Yeah, well, hey, that does do that indeed. Yeah, yeah. So that's one thing we're really good at is actually following through on what we say. But sometimes I'll say, oh, we had this ready, and then I couldn't get it on the day. So now they're actually beating me to the punch. I'm almost positive that that's a luck of the draw, and that if I did it another time, it would say, oh, I can't do that. But maybe that's not the case. I mean, this would be, my team's been working overtime, so I don't know if this is the case. But this right here, I'm reading it, and it does not sound like a chat email at all. And by the way, when I say chat, we're not using this is using multiple AIs, but I mean a chat-ish email. So okay, yeah, this is really good. So okay, I'll give you an idea. If I pulled this into ChatGPT right now and said, write me 5 emails on this topic, I'll almost guarantee you the first 2 emails would be questions. Do you ever find it blah 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 and stupid questions at that? It's the typical chat email. So none of that's happening. So it's following our copywriting patterns, and we don't have templates, as you know. We don't do anything like that. But I know what the patterns it's looking for. There are certain things I'm seeing that I'm wondering. I'm wondering. I don't even know how it's doing it. But hey, this is really freaking cool. So this would use your words, and then you can come down here. I'm so proud of it. Okay, okay. And right here is where we've stopped working here. Right underneath here will be a series of buttons that you can choose to say, I want to create a project out of this. So it will come down here and say, add this to the project, and it would just add this over here to the project. So in other words, you would take your 3 emails or 5 emails. Did we do five? I think we did five. So here's 4, here's 5. The other thing is we have a timeout of number of words that we're going to be able to, well, actually, no, I take that back. We took that off. We actually took that off because it's straight. See, it just took my words right from here. So there we go. So here's my 5 emails. And for now, it's not gloriously clean, but here's what you do. And we have coded to be a little bit cool, nice. Okay, so it's going to talk more like me. We hope in the future. So I mean, I'll try not to get it to swear too much, but there we go. But this is cool. Paul and Dr. Glenn, yes. Who wants to say something nice? Because I can't see any of you.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I would even say like you might consider down at the bottom when you're saying like create a new project, it might be like add to this project or create a new
Oh,
project.
yeah. I
Because
mean, I
some
mean,
people,
it meant add to this project. It's not going to
yeah,
create a new project. So
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
this is interesting. Let me do something real quick here because I'm wondering. I don't want to bore you guys with tech, but sometimes when I go, I was in here before doing a demo for a decoder, and because I was in this exact dev site, if you go back into the same dev site and you log back in, it's a problem because the dev is really really slow compared to this. So sometimes it doesn't update cache, and I think over here it should have showed this at the bottom unless they took in this out as part of the deal. Let me see here. Uh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It just see different ways I can print this book. Okay. Let me do the same thing up here. Okay. Uh, okay. Podcast live challenge. Huh. So it came up with different ways. Uh, okay. So you've already got a solid 5 email miniseries now. So here, okay, so yeah, okay, it got rid of what so it just did it again. So let me see if it's up here. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, it's supposed to have down here, and it's just I don't know why it's not showing up. It's probably because this very same thing we're working on, the thing that they fixed is the thing that now something else doesn't work. This is part of developing something very complicated. But here are the 5. So yeah, down here you'll have we've already got it built. So I'm not telling you what we have to build yet. It's just not showing up probably because they're still working on it in the back end. But we have down here 3 buttons. One is a plus that you just add to this project. One is a replace where you could replace this copy. Yeah, don't want to do that obviously. And the other one is a save is another option to save. So it's really cool. It's kind of like you have in Tuner where you say you can replace this or save it or whatever. Same basic buttons that you can have right here. But as you can tell, this is much more like methodical. Like you could say, okay, now referral and community contact, bonuses and companion tools, a printable oh, this is cool. A printable presence check card or bookmark that ships and downloads with the book. I mean, these are really clever ideas. High stakes room audio walkthrough is a bonus. So, I mean, okay, this is really pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed. This is neat. So yeah, that's how you'd be using it. And I would tell you let me see let's see if I said let's do something another thing here that I could write. Okay. Write me a LinkedIn article. Okay. Write me a LinkedIn article on this on yeah, I'll say on the what's something we can do here. There was what was it called? The door challenge? Was see, I don't something like that. Uh, there was some challenge she had in here. Um, the email broke it out. What was it? I don't know anything about this topic, so okay, it's yeah. Uh, let's see
You
what's it
can do
called?
a browser like
Doorway
Command F
experiment
and
on
find the
the
challenge.
doorway experiment. Okay, so this in theory should give me an error, and unless it's just been fixed, which would be awesome. But we don't have a LinkedIn. There's no, okay. See, it's just sitting here thinking because we don't have anything with LinkedIn in it. So let's see what it's going to do. Yep, that's the error. That's the error that you should get. And by the way, we're going to change this error, but that's like, I can't do that. I'm not able to help with that request because we don't have there's no things that says LinkedIn, and there's no generators that say LinkedIn. There's an email generator and an ad generator and a this generator and a that generator. But so I'll test one more thing, even though it says write me an ad based on this uh, this content. Let's see if we can do that. I'm still not convinced it's fixed. I think that was a fluke, or maybe we're just testing emails for now. That'd be the easy thing to fix. Let's see if we can pull up the ads here. But what we wanted to do is this is really cool, but what we wanted to do is pull up the ads over here and do it over here because you can have a lot more flexibility with it. So let's see if we can do this. Yeah. So yeah. See, it can't do that. So yeah, it can do things. And this is what we're going to be. This is why we're testing it. It can do things. If it's got an outline up here, it can do it because it can call it can call specific things. If it doesn't know what to call, and this is why I'd be shocked because this is supposed to be like 2 or 3 weeks away at least, where they can actually call our generators and do the whole thing. But that's what you'll be able to do eventually. Is say, write me an ad, write me that. But some things you can do right now, like I did, the emails were great, so it worked. So it's going to be hit and miss, but that's what the whole early beta is for. Is it's not ready yet, but it's damn close. So very helpful. The other thing you can do is you can say something like, uh, make this section funnier, okay, and you'll be able to do stuff like that. I'm just pulling it funnier. Okay. So in other words, it's not going to, okay, stepping in rooms, blah, blah, blah. It's never just stepping in a room. Okay. So it's just going to put in a little bit of things here and there, so right here at the back, like, even if you think you're invisible, allergic to attention, prefer hiding in the back with the snacks. Okay. So it's not trying to be a comedian, and notice that that is not in the first part here. The reason why is we have a refiner that's, that's coded to say, add humor. So we have a tool. We have a writing tool. It says if you do this, do that. If you do this, do that. So these kind of things are very helpful to do, and it's done in real time. So we're not draining the words right now, but it will when we roll out the beta. All right. So that was a cool experiment. So it looks like it does kind of work. We will totally dive into books and book builder and a lot of other copy as we do through the 30 days worth of trial. And it's not costing you guys anything to use it at all. So assuming you don't go over 100,000 words, which most of you probably won't, unless you need to, then great, let us know. So yeah, hopefully we're really looking forward to getting this out. Okay, let's take other questions here regarding Strategist or regarding anything else. But this is, I think, where you can see where we're going, and it's pretty exciting. Exciting. So Glenn. Oh, by the way, Glenn, did you know where to go for the YouTube videos, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can find that.
Yeah, so just in case if anybody else doesn't know, so since we're talking books, obviously, being that this is our book call, if you come over here, I'll close this out right here. Come over here, all you gotta do, go here, go to refiners, and these are custom refiners. They're at the top. So right here, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Scripts Creator, and the cool thing about it is, it's gonna sound just like yeah, it looks just like it doesn't sound anything like the chapter. It's like we train this with my videos on YouTube because I've got hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos, and there's a format that I use where it starts off with some sort of NLP and transitions into my name, then goes to a stinger, and we just use that formula because it's just a formula that works. So it comes up with good. The 1 second ritual is solid commands respect in any room. That's a really good YouTube title, right? Um, Same thing you're supposed to do. Repeat your title right off the far. So in other words, it's trained on some really good YouTube video training. But boom, and that's what's really cool about this is you can just do this over and over and over again, right? There you go. So it's broke this out so perfectly well. And then of course at the very end you say inside confidence code. I'll walk you through blah blah blah. If you want more videos like this, inside look below. You can have a call to action. If I oh here's the plus. Add this as a new item. So it's a YouTube video. Part one. This right here is just so worth the price of admission for everything. I think if we just threw this in for free, and now you can come in here and you could just say, well, I can now add a call to action. You could do this with Strategist, or you could do this with Tuner. So just add a call to action.
John, to get to this YouTube tuner is only through the book builder at this point, or is there another way to get into this one specifically?
Uh, to tuner?
Yeah, to the one, the YouTube detail. If you want to just
Yeah, yeah. It's only books. Yeah.
okay, okay.
So yeah. So now, write down tuners for you. So you get the roadmap because President is built is yours. You get to it. Da da da. Click the link in the description to grab a bot. So that quick, right? So the tune. So what I just did is like tuner, which is very handy. It's not a chat back. I can't like go back and forth with it like I can here. I can't ask it questions and all that stuff. But um, so what we're going to have to do is tuners is going to go the way of the dinosaur once strategist is completely full because tuners tuner's great, but it's nowhere near powerful strategist. So what we want to do with that is still allow this right here. So you can fine tune sections of stuff. Like if I said add a CTA here, it would just replace that, and that saves far less. You don't cost as many words. But it's, what you were asking is right here, if you go under refiners, you will only see these in Book Builder. And there's a reason for that. Each of these are contents, right? Facebook ads isn't, I mean, but you got ad generators. So you don't, this is just makes it easier. So in other words, if you want a Facebook ad around this particular topic, it's going to pull our exact ad generator. It's just going to replace all the Facebook stuff with this. So, but article is content, Instagram is content, YouTube is content. So you can't build content with copy. So that's why we don't have it anywhere else is because you need the content to create. There's no way you can create the video like this without content. It'll sound sucky. And so this has got that whole conversational vibe. You can just read it for yourself. Bear in mind, I told it to make it funny because that's not what I would tell it ever, but you get the idea just to get the point across. I started this at home. Why? Because safe places are the best way. So it reads very conversationally like you'd read in a YouTube video. But you can get all your YouTube videos forever. If you write a book, I'm serious. If you write a book using Book Builder and then go in there and just say, create a YouTube video, and then I'll go in there and create a totally different one. So I could just keep creating YouTube videos for the same part one. So this one's on, see, what was the, sorry, I clicked here first. So I can at least get, 15 videos out of a book, right? At least 15 videos. But, so the 1 second ritual that solid commands respect in any room. Okay, that's one of them. If I go back in here, same chapter, I go back under refiners. I go back under YouTube. I can tell it to write something really specific here. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but we've updated Tuner right here. So I could say, make this about table manners. I don't know. See what it does here.
And while it's cranking out, I'm thinking that, some people might not realize that this is the script, so then they want to use some sort of a tool, maybe like Pictory or Gamma or something like that to jazz it up, and then they're talking over it.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's Pictory would be what I would use if it was going to be for video. Again, Gamma's like I don't know how that does for like video, but Pictory does the whole dump the script in there and pull in videos and all that stuff. If you wanted to do a
Well, those
really cheap way, yeah, yeah.
those are just the two that came to my mind. Maybe
Yeah.
do you have other ideas that might be even better? I'm happy to
Those are
learn.
my two favorites. So those are the only two I use. So yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. I mean that's it. But you get the idea here. It's like we added this while I was on vacation, and I don't think this got updated. I don't think we updated you guys on this, but Tuner now has or refiners now have the same thing Tuner has. Tuner has what do you want to tune and tell me all about it. Well, now optional, you can add specific instructions to refiners. And this is everywhere, not just in Book Builder. So I pulled up the refiner. I said, create a YouTube script, but this time I want to make it about table manners. So I can take every single thing in here, the content, it's going to work in the ideas in here, right? because look at the confidence. It's going to talk about presence somewhere. Almost guarantee it's going to talk about presence. So if it doesn't, I can tell it to you. Okay, so let's see if it comes in here. It's like future. So yeah, it's just basically writing. Okay, let's make sure it just chooses. Yeah, right here. Right. So it pulls in the concepts of this chapter, but I said now write about table manners. So you can see how uh, this is like, I actually want to sell this independently of Book Builder. I mean, this is so good that just create a freaking like book. I mean, and well, it wouldn't be create a book, it'd be create content, and then just create all your YouTube videos. I mean, that simple. It's that fast. So, and yeah, until Strategist comes out, remember this is not counting against words. So Strategist is going to come out. It is going to count against words, but we're giving you double your words, so it's going to all even out for you. But my point is that this is really cool,
And
and
then something tangential, a question, just since we're all kind of on the same page. If you were
mhm,
to do this a dozen times, like you say, and you have a
mhm,
whole, a dozen scripts,
mhm.
what would you, because I know you're Mr. Agentic, what tool would you use to say, Pictory, go ahead and crank these out? Make or like N8N or something?
Uh, yeah, I would use make.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
starting to play with, so I just was
yeah.
curious.
Yeah, make would do it, or do it the old-fashioned way, just literally just copy and paste and pull it into Victoria and let it go to town. But I mean, if you want to do everything agentically in the background, then I would use make. I mean, um, I mean, there's an argument to be made for, um, uh, God, what's I just drew a blank of the name?
Like
On
quality control, is that what you mean?
yeah, but on God, it was the Princess of the Ball for about a month. I just drew a blank on the name. Sorry. It's similar to Make. It's similar. Make's easier to work with. But yeah, you could Make would be fine. We're talking about programs that
Are
allow
you
you
talking
to
about
stack.
Zapier?
I'm sorry.
Zapier?
No, not that. No, this is a full AI. It's a full integrated tools AI. So it's going to pull different tools agentically, and that's what it's doing. So it's figuring out which tools it should use, and then goes to pull it. Um, Derek, what's the application? It's very popular. I just forgot it. Totally forget the name. Um, but anyway, there you
I
could
don't know.
use Make is perfectly fine for doing something like that. And I think it's really cool to if you wanted to stack stuff up like that. It's just there is a quality control issue. It's just yeah, because you are going to be running into AIs and APIs and all that kind of stuff. And when you have Pictory is such an easy app to use. Just copy and paste and let it do its thing. It's pretty simple. I mean, if you would want to see this, if in case you do, I can just show it to you really quickly here. I think I still have my picture.
John, can I ask one question before you leave this one subject on the,
Sure
uh,
can.
this
Yeah.
is regarding the YouTube scripts, and I know that you have for the refiner, and that's wonderful that you have coming off the book. Can
Mhm.
you say we have all the book content, it's all in there, and then you want to play off of maybe some sort of trending YouTube thing or
Mhm.
whatever, and you just say, uh, yeah, just talk about this trending YouTube thing, and we'll relate it to, maybe that could be your hook or something, and relate that to the rest of the book and that sort of thing, because it's really the
Yes.
subject of it. Yeah.
Yes. So now this is where Strategist is going to come in really handy. So let me kill this 1 second. Let me by the way, dev super 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 slow. So in case you're wondering, that's not anything to do with the tools. All right. So if I come over here, same thing. I'm in part one here. I say give me three of the current hottest YouTube trends on this topic. That's a great question. Can strategists do that? I don't know. It's a good question. Oh, I think I accidentally refreshed the page. Sorry. Okay. Uh, uh, Give me the top three YouTube trends on this topic. I think
And
that's what I
before you
said.
hit enter, copy it so we can get it in the chat.
I did. Okay. Let's see. This time I got in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so many social experience point of view challenges. Okay, a pause to every doorway for a week. Here's how people treat me. That's freaking killer. I mean, I've seen so many of these freaking POV stuff. Okay, how to stop feeling invisible advice. I thought that was showing up because I talk about it all the time. Short, punchy YouTube shorts, real cross posts. Okay, so here's like, so it's just looking at what's the hottest like current YouTube stuff. How is it able to do that? If it doesn't know the answer, obviously it's not going to know the answer from all of my data, all the stuff that we fed it from the massive library we have. We've trained it to go out and just go to general AI. So it's no difference in going to Gemini or ChatGPT or it's going to give you the same quality of answers. It's just super fast. Okay. So, all right. So there we go. But the thing it can't do is like now write this for me, and then it's going to pull in the way that we write, right? So yeah, that's what you could do. So let's say that just as a fun thing to do. Okay. I'm going to check. I'm going to copy this right here. I'm going to go right back over into close this out. Go right back over into refiners. I'm going to say YouTube scripts creator. Here's the topic.
That is amazing. That is really amazing that you can really.
Uh, Look at that. Yeah. Now, what I would do in that box is I'd say, here's the topic and here's what happened. I did this and blah, 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 blah. Well, I didn't even have to do that. So it started small Monday morning. It's so crazy. Okay, pause. Oh no, some forgot something. I meant to be there. Show was awkward, blah, blah, blah. So yeah. So it's pulling in what Mary's talking about over here and then having to deduce it, having to figure out, okay, what is she talking about over here? Because this whole chapter isn't about, some doorway thing, right? It's like, but yeah, presence sheet counts foundation. I still remember seeing that in this. So this is cool, visible, heads of state, the doorway pause. Yeah, it, that's there you go. So that's exactly how I would do it. That's using strategists, but you don't have to use strategists. You don't have to wait to strategists. Right now it's clunkier. I'd go to ChatGPT and say, what are the top three YouTube formats that are trending right now, and then say, I'm writing about. In this case, I'd say, take this right here, and then give me the ideas. Then come back over here and use this because this right here has that consistent format to it. It's like we know how the intro paragraph should work. We know where the stinger should come in. We know what the first lines should sound like. Um, we know how it should be written. It's got to be written conversationally. It's totally different than what the book is written. Like read the tone of the book and then read this. It's this is much more energetic, YouTube energy kind of thing, right? Well, chat may or may not do it that way because there's like it's trained on billions of YouTube videos. These are trained on the ones that we think are the best. So it's just going to give you much more specific answers.
Are
But
these
it's up to you. I mean, you
are
can
these standardly 15-minute, 12-minute, short, long, or I
oh
don't know if
yeah.
there's an optimal size.
Yeah, I mean, we stick to like just because of the data that we had to have is 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, and you could take that and you could extrapolate it. So see, yeah, I can see how many words this is. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's about 3 minutes. Yeah, probably 3 minutes. Come over here. Go word counter.net. And so yeah, 3 minutes. 5 minutes
Yeah.
speaking time. 5 minutes speaking time. Yeah, so
And,
three to
and if,
five minutes.
and if you wanted to go longer, you could probably just maybe put this in the chat and say expand these concepts, or wouldn't
Yeah,
you do that?
don't need to. Here's how you could do it. Let's go YouTube video two. Okay. And then over there, should click on it. I won't use Strategist, but you could use Strategist. But you could do, for now, I'm just showing you what you could do
Yeah.
for right now. Go tuner and say, make this 2x longer with, let's see, objections. With objections, keep the same tone and feel. Well, let's do it this way. Sometimes 2x longer, the AI goes, screw you, I'm not gonna do it. So, okay, check. Look, I know what, okay, down to the NLP and look. I mean, so you can tell, by the way, there's little things you can tell if it's Benson copy or if it's Chat GPT copy. Like if you start seeing sentences starting with because or but or things like that, that's Benson or look, and it's NLP. So there you go. Etiquette is outdated. Confidence all about luck. Blah blah, blah. I used to believe every single one of those things. So let's break it down exactly. So we're going to talk about it. I started small. Blah blah. So you see what it did here. So yeah, it's longer for sure. Presence and here's how it works. Psychologically, people respond in milliseconds. So there we go. Yeah, there's your twice as long video.
Perfect.
That's what I would do. But I would choose something to make the content longer. Like you could pull in objections, mistaken beliefs, and say and make it. Now it's got something to pull from, and obviously you can't do that in chat. You'd have to, well, you can. You'd have to dump everything in there. It's a much more pain in the ass to do it, and it won't write the same way. It's gonna write, chatty. I don't know. Kind of hard to say.
Excellent.
I don't
Thank
like.
you.
Yeah, I don't like the chat concept. I mean, it does good on some stuff, but it doesn't do good on a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's just yeah. I did well. I didn't. I was going to cover something totally different. This is, I think, hopefully as equally helpful. I do need to bolt and get our stuff done for our tech team before they leave at 5. But that's. I'm glad that we got to cover. Any other questions regarding this before I hand it over to Derek? Because this stuff is really freaking cool. I don't think that many of you just realize what's really in the tool that you have, and part of that is our responsibility, which is Frank has reminded me that please make a whole list of things as soon as all the new tools come out. Here's what the tools do, and here's exactly how you use them. We're gonna have just a little cheat sheet that you can have, and here you can apply that. But when Strategist is done, like in 3 or 4 months, it's going to be irrelevant. You won't have to worry about it because you just talk to it. I need to do this, and it'll figure out which tools to pull and how to do it. So that's the goal, our goal here. But you can see how we had to build everything first. We had to make it manual and then automate it. So, but yeah, cool stuff, guys. Good,
Thanks
happy
for
with
the
it.
walkthrough. Yeah,
Fabulous.
Yeah,
This is great. It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Lot of fun, a lot of fun. All
looking
right, guys,
forward
have a
to beta
fantastic
testing
Thanksgiving.
Strategist.
And we will. We're not doing Benson on Friday. I totally forgot about Black Friday. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. We are doing Benson on Friday. I totally forgot about. But Black Friday, so it's going to be shorter. That's what it is. And obviously, we're not meeting on Thursday. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you Friday for briefly if you're going to be on Benson call. And Derek, um, I'll see you later. All right, guys.
See you, John.
All right. I'm going to hand it. I'm going to make
Aloha.
Derek the host now. All right.
Good
All
job.
right. All right, buddy.
All right. Yeah, that was awesome. I love seeing the new things myself. I don't even always know the newest features until John reveals it, and sometimes on these calls. So looking forward to that. What I wanted to cover, especially with Black Friday coming up and the holidays in general, are some different approaches you can take to, make the most of this time of year. So I asked this earlier. John asked this at the start. Just check in again. So maybe no one's running anything right now, but who has either something you plan to run or maybe at least ideas bubbling up for something that you could do for Black Friday? And we can go through it and we can discuss it. And then I'm going to share a number of specific strategies and things. So Paul, you had your hand up.
I have got my first book, Benson Book Builder generated book. I've got a copy in my hand, super exciting. So I have not yet done anything to sell it. And that's where I guess kind of thought when you mentioned Black Friday, I'm like, I have an Authentimacy Live program that I want to do behind that. And I, in the past, have sold and recorded a Dare to Date Differently summit. So I kind of thought I'd do something like that. And I thought, shoot, I just, get your ideas about how I can spice that up. I was also looking at the course bonuses or the book builder bonuses.
Okay. Of course, bonuses. And so what was the idea you were thinking of, like the summit or the workshop, or what was it that you were thinking about offering?
I was thinking of, I want to sell the book, but the book normally would be my funnel to get to my Authentimacy Live 4-week program, $149 or $99, something, that kind of price point. So I was trying to think of something like I'd add add the recording of the Dare to Date differently, and maybe a couple of the bonuses that were created. And I'd say like, here's a $99 like all of the above program.
Yeah. So I'll cover a couple things and I'll go into some deeper things. But you mentioned one strategy is a type of bundle. So there's obviously a discount approach that any of you can take. So normally it's X amount for Black Friday. You get it at, however much off. Maybe it's 50% off. Maybe it's a lower price. So you can do that. And or you can say it's this much. However, when you get it for Black Friday, I'm going to throw in these bonuses, right? So Authentimacy Live, you're going to get the Dare to Date differently program, and especially if you can say, it's sold for X amount in the past. That also works really well. And this is probably not new to most of you who've seen any type of marketing. This sold for, $200 or $500, and you'll get it as a bonus when you get the, upcoming training or whatever. So you can do that. You can certainly offer the book. And another thing I was going to mention for any of you, even if you don't have your book done or something done, you can always do it like a pre-order type of thing. So you can say, get fill in the blank now. Again, you can maybe do a discount, and then you'll get it when it's released, whether that's the coming weeks or month or something like that. So keep in mind the pre-order or selling things in advance. Now, the live program is kind of built in that you're selling it in advance because, I mean, unless you happen to sell it and it's starting that same day, there's probably some advance notice that you're giving people. So as a concept,
I
the
just
idea.
remember
Yep.
there's
Go
one
on.
other thing that I meant to mention, and that is it occurred to me, especially after watching Hormozi's like, I don't know, 7 or 9 figure launch. It occurred to me like this is all about relationships. So I was thinking I would do something in this, big holiday bundle to say like order, 5 copies, and then along with Authenticity Live, you get 4 copies to give to your loved ones and friends, so that you're all building authenticity, on a relational level, on a kind of community level.
Yeah, that's actually another strategy to bring up is the idea of selling things. You could call it bulk, but at least 2 or more copies, particularly when it comes to physical books. Now you can do it with ebooks. You could offer there are ways of gifting books on Amazon and stuff like that. And one tip, and I'm gonna give general tips, and then I'm gonna speak back to you specifically, Paul. A general tip is reminding people about this makes a great gift for fill in the blank, especially for books. Now, I understand there's certain topics, like Susie's not on here, but skin picking, maybe it'd be kind of a weird thing to be like, you pick your skin a lot, so I bought you this book. Like there might be certain embarrassing topics. For many people, though, there's ways of framing it and positioning it. And Paul is a perfect example of, buy at least 2 copies, and you could do 3 or 4 or 5, but let's say 2 copies, one for you and one for your partner. Right, that makes perfect sense in that situation. So for many of you, especially again physical products or physical books, encouraging them to get 2 copies, 2 or 3 copies, and a lot of times things are sold sometimes in that way. And I've brought this up in past calls where it might be maybe you want to get people into your course rather than selling the course directly. You might just say buy a couple copies of my book, and then I'm going to gift you the course. I'm going to gift you these things. And that can also work well, especially if something's in beta and maybe you just want to get some people in your course just to get some feedback and to get some people showing up on calls. um, it might not make as much sense if you're talking about like a $500 to $1,000 workshop that they spend $20 and get all that. However, it can certainly make sense though if you're like, hey, I'm going to launch this thing, and instead of just giving it away to some people for free to get kind of that early feedback, I'm going to make it conditional that they do buy something. Yet it's something that could be just kind of a no-brainer thing, which might be a couple copies, 2, 3, copies of your book, physical hard copies. The another advantage of that is if you're doing any sort of shipping, you save on shipping. It doesn't cost you much more to ship 2 books or 3 books or something like that compared to shipping 1 book. So yeah, again, a reminder for all of you, consider all throughout the holidays, is there anything that you can remind people that they can buy this as a gift for others? Do you have a way of delivering that, whether it's a digital or physical thing? Are there bonuses you can offer if they do that? But even if you don't offer bonuses, just simply reminding people, like your current customers who've maybe already bought a book, sometimes all they need is a reminder of, hey, do you know anyone else who would benefit from it? This could make a great gift, and give them a little bit of instructions on here's how you can order this as a gift for someone. and maybe have a specific checkout process. If it goes through Amazon, you can describe that process. If it's on your own website, you can, it's actually just walking them through. Go here for the delivery, you can set it like this, or have it delivered to yourself. And, you obviously you can wrap it up yourself and give it to the person or whatever. So that extends beyond Black Friday and it's going all through the holidays. Now back to you, Paul. So you mentioned, yep, you have the course, you have the Authentimacy Live. This kind of also comes back into what do you think would be the biggest selling point? Because there's different ways of positioning it. You can say you buy fill in the blank and you get XYZ as bonuses. Maybe it doesn't always matter, but you think like, what's the easiest thing to get their foot in the door? And then sometimes this actually is like a key bonus that is the biggest selling point, meaning they're actually getting it more for the bonus, right? But if they are getting it more for a bonus, like you guys have a really hot, sexy bonus, something that you think is incredibly compelling, you want to make sure you oftentimes will end like in the order and sequence of laying it out. And the ultimate bonus that you get, you don't have to word it that way, is fill in the blank, and you actually really sell them on that bonus rather than just squeezing it in as some, one single sentence in the middle of a whole sales letter. You want to really shine the spotlight on this incredible bonus that they're getting. So by the end of it, they go, "Oh, I'm going to get it just for, fill in the blank is worth it alone."
One of the ideas for the bonus was something like, conversation starters, but that would come up in the Autonomy Live, interactive practice workshop anyway. So I'm wondering, does that feel like it's sort of redundant, or is that sort of, and would have the same value, or kind of go with a different angle on the kind of big sexy bonus?
Off the top of my head, that sounds like a good topic to highlight. So this is another thing. Like sometimes bonuses are things that are already something that's included in it, and you're almost just kind of again pulling it out, putting the spotlight on it, and it could be its
Elevating.
own thing, right? So you could do a whole session on conversation starters, and then you might have like a PDF checklist of maybe a 1 or 2 page thing of conversation starters as its own standalone thing. Now, again, maybe that was already going to be included. Now, by calling it a bonus, though, and maybe even assigning a value to it as its own thing, it just makes it easier for the mind to grasp. Just like it'd be a feature or a bullet point in an overall product, you're now making it its own bonus. And in fact, that's oftentimes how a lot of my bonuses are. I think, what would make for a really good product. And sometimes I'll just call something a bonus, put in its own little module, create its own little guide for it. It was originally going to be part of the thing anyway, but by calling it a bonus, again, it just allows you time to kind of go deeper on that and talk more about it. And then let's say you have an email. This is an email sequence. One day might just be talking about the conversation starters bonus. And you get this when you order the such and such package. The next day, you might be talking about a different bonus or a different feature or something that's included in the program. So, are there specific questions or things that anything else that you want to run by me with that offer?
One of the things, if you wanted to pull up, I was kind of thinking about like what to lead with, and so I was, in the past I've sold the Great Dating Reset, which is a 4-figure high ticket offer, and also reground and rebound for men who've gone through midlife transition. The book is the first time that I've had something that's very low ticket and serves as a funnel to these programs. So I added Authenticity Live as kind of that middle point, like $149, very short program to kind of get people experience working with me and then maybe lead into the bigger programs. I was curious if you had any ideas for, especially for Black Friday, like thinking about how to, like what order to pitch it in. Should I still focus on the book, or should I just focus on the bundle?
So what would the bundle be, like a $99 offer, were you saying, or $199 or something like that? You're on mute right now.
Sorry, thanks. I was thinking about, Authenticity Live being 129, 149. So, making it 99 and then you get a few books with it or something like that. Yeah, so that was kind of, and also the Dare to Date Differently, which I currently sell for 197 on the website. It's not selling because I just haven't been driving a lot of traffic, so I'm kind of getting my momentum going again.
Yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, from what you're saying, and this could be different if I knew a little bit more about your audience, is I like the like kind of the $99 price point, somewhere in the hundred, couple $100. That's enough to like, make it somewhat worth your while. It's just harder to make money if you're selling like a $5 offer or whatever without a bunch of upsells. So it's a nice little chunk, and then you can upsell the Great Dating Reset. Definitely include that as something that they can add on to it. My thought process is like, what percentage of your audience would be interested in the higher ticket product? If it's the vast majority, then you maybe could lead with that. In this case, though, I'm leaning. It kind of seems like the authenticity seems like a pretty broad net. Like pretty much anyone in your audience might benefit from that, and then you have the upsell for something. Another thing, and this is something I wanted to mention, was that you can also segment your audience. And so I have a different offer for Black Friday for people who are like my coaching clients. I actually do like a few limited spots for a lifetime access to my group coaching. Um, I'm not saying everyone should do lifetime access, but that's not necessarily something I offer to everyone. But for kind of like my VIP people, I offer that. And even not just during Black Friday, I know if I'm doing a big promotion for something, but let's say I know, well, there's a whole segment of my audience who's already bought this thing. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt necessarily if they see the same emails, but I know they're not going to buy it. So sometimes I'll run two promotions concurrently. I'm like, here's my main promotion, but anyone who's already purchased this product, I'm going to do a separate promotion at this time for them for a different offer. So that way, kind of everyone in my audience is getting some offer. Um, that might not apply to what you're doing. And again, it's like something to be thinking about, that there might actually be people who are a really good fit for, let's say, the Great Dating Reset. And let's say you go, maybe even them personally. Like I know 7 people who would, maybe really be a good fit for that. You could do like direct outreach and kind of its own little mini campaign just for a certain group of people or a certain segment who you think are the best fit for that. And then maybe your sort of mass audience gets a more general offer. Does that make sense?
It does. The one other thing that just came to my mind, going back to your point about, I can ship 5 books just as easily, a little bit incremental postage. But the truth is, I left Seattle at dark 30 this morning. I'm going to be in Baja, Mexico for the next 6 weeks, so I'm not going to want to fulfill. I can fulfill. I set up my daughter with 20 copies of the book to do the print fulfillment, but mostly I'm going to do ebooks and audiobooks. And I'm wondering, what do you think about the idea of the group thing where you, like, if I were to do the $99 Authenticity Live and you get the Dare to Date Differently seminar and you get the print book, and then for 4 of your friends and family, they get the ebook and the audiobook, like mixed modalities.
I mean, you can do that. Two things. One is with fulfillment. I rarely, if ever, ship something out. I just go to my print on demand company and have them ship it to whoever. So whether that's Amazon, Ingram Spark, a printing company, I just print on demand and have it shipped out, and then factor that in to the fact that, well, if they're paying at least $100, then I'm covering my shipping and printing cost. So you don't even need to have you or anyone else manually fulfill it if you don't want to. But I would just say, if you did want to ship it in bulk, I would still just say ship multiple physical copies out and let them actually have the experience of physically giving the books out as a gift. Because that might
That's
be
a good
something they
point.
want to do anyway.
Yeah.
They might want to wrap it up, or they might want to be there in person to actually give them the gift. Now, if you
And
want to
any,
throw in the ebook and audiobook too, cool. Like you can do that. And I don't think you need to do that in terms of, or I would still at least consider the physical copies
any
as well.
special language that you would think of? Because I'm sure this can apply to others who are either on the call. I know it's kind of a light but I know people will watch the replay. Um, any special wording that you can imagine for people selling a bundle where it's like, and this is a great, you're going to get this to make relationships better in your family or in your friend circle. Um, like about just the whole idea of giving the gift, because most of us are direct marketing. We haven't thought about the gift angle.
Like what you would tell the person to say to the person they're giving the book to?
I
Or
was just wondering if there's any, nuance there about, because I haven't done a bundle before. I haven't sold like, because I'm thinking I'll go for 5 books, because that way, they can do one for their significant other, they can do one for a sibling, and then a couple friends, 4 books to give out.
yeah, I don't know that you have to go up to 5. I think that's okay. Maybe if you're just trying to move copies of books, but I think at least 2 copies, one for yourself and one for your partner or future partner. You might word it like that, partner or future partner, in case they're not in a relationship currently. And then convey specifically something. I mean, I'm just kind of guessing here that like, um, let's say something like communication. One of the key parts of effective communication is making sure you're both on the same page about how to communicate. And if you've read this book and your partner hasn't, you're going to know things that they don't know, which can kind of maybe break down the communication, um, between you two. So the easiest way to communicate is when you both read the book and you work through the processes and exercises together, or something like that. I just kind
I
of
like that.
riffing.
Yeah,
But if that's the kind of idea for it, some of you, it might just be a simple matter of saying, and this can make a great gift. If people go, oh yeah, I know someone who could benefit from this, and they would already know how to do it. But if you think about giving gifts, a lot of times you're not like, here's a gift and let me go into a 5-minute sales pitch on why you need this gift. That's not usually how it is. Oh, here's a book I thought you might like. And if the
good
book is
point.
pretty
Yeah,
obvious about what it's about, um, for something like you, I do think it would make sense, if there's a book on authentic, I have a hard time,
authenticity.
authentimacy, it could help that they say, yeah, I felt like this might be a good book that we could read together to strengthen our relationship. Or, I know, I got this book because I feel it can really help me with fill in the blank. And I think it could be, good for us to read it together. You
Well,
also
and
have some room for people to insert their own personal reasons, their own reason why they got the book, their own reason why they're offering it as a gift and stuff like that.
the only reason I was focusing on 5 was because there's a chapter on existing, primary relationships. There's a chapter on dating new relationships. There's a chapter on, friends, family, and coworkers. So it kind of fans out in terms of being authentic and allowing intimacy in all relationships. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's have somebody else give an example.
Yeah, yeah, happy to help. And it could be the kind of thing you can say, hey, these are some potential people you might offer this as a gift to, any romantic partner or future partner, your family, because it helps with your family relationships in such and such way, your friends. So you could list out potential people who could benefit from who you might want to gift the book to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Cool. And what I'll do is still be thinking if any of you have things that you want to discuss. I'm going to run through a few different types of deals that you can do. Black Friday, also really kind of any time of the year that you want to run a sale. And one big thing with sales is having a reason why. Now, it's kind of built into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Sometimes that's all it takes. Hey, it's Black Friday, so here's a sale type of thing because people are so conditioned to it. And there's something to be said for the fact that people are in a shopping mode and tapping into that. It's the kind of thing on one hand you might think, well, they're already getting so many other deals. Am I just going to be cluttering it up? And while there's maybe a degree of that, I think the net positive, as most companies see, is that because people are almost looking, there are times where I'll be in my inbox, like looking what are the Black Friday deals from different companies, almost making an excuse to buy something because I know that there's going to be so many deals. So it just makes sense for the vast majority of people have something for Black Friday / Cyber Monday. And then also going forward, if you can add in an additional reason why you're doing this. So in Paul's example, it might be mentioning that a common example, I'm looking for more case studies on this process. I want to get this book into more people's hands because I think it can change your life and change the world or whatever. There's some sort of reason behind why you're doing this. Maybe it's an anniversary of some special occasion. I had a whole thing where I did like a book giveaway, and it's like it's my 10-year anniversary of becoming an author. So to give back, I'm doing this special giveaway. The idea here is that it is this thing. If you ever watch the show Brain Games, and if you YouTube, I could probably find it on YouTube uh, here. And if you want to watch it later, uh, you can. So it's like the free money. And what they did was set up a box with a sign. The box has money in it, and a sign says free money. And you might imagine where this is going. Like you see a box, says free money, just sitting there. Like people don't just run up and grab the money. They come up and they're like, uh, is this a trick? What's going on? It's free. It's really free. If they're talking like, you mean I can just say, you see like the hesitation there because it goes counter to like, well, nothing's for free. There's got to be some sort of catch or whatever. So this is why it's important to give a reason why for something. Why are you just discounting something? Why are you just offering a free thing? And so again, you can just kind of say it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday. People are conditioned to that at any sale, giving a reason for something. Okay. Specifically, some strategies are to you have straightforward discount. You could do that. You could do a bundle. So I kind of talked about that. Maybe you have a collection of other products and things. It could be just a bundle that you sell. I have a thing where it's like, get 3 of these challenges that I did. They each cost X amount, but you can get all 3 of them together for a certain price. You can frame that as get these things for a discount price. You could frame it as buy one and you're getting another thing free or these other things free. Different ways of positioning it, but in terms of just coming up with something, you can think maybe there's a bundle offer that you can do. Reminded I saw Daniel Throssell promoting this where there's a guy, I think it was John McIntyre, who got together with some other copywriters and they each offered one of their products and then put together this like copywriting bundle, right? So you could work, it's a little bit last minute right now, but going forward, you might think, could I get together with other people in my space? We each contribute a product or a book or something like that, and we create this bundle that we then all promote. So there's a little logistics for setting up affiliate links, but that way it's not just your product, it's other people's products, so that can add to the value. And now you also have a whole group promotion where the power of everyone promoting it. And obviously, if an affiliate makes a sale, they get a little bit more of a commission, but everyone maybe gets paid a little bit anytime that bundle is sold. So that's another thing to consider. I've done last year and this year, I kind of do what you might call sort of choose your own adventure. And I'm not always a fan of offering multiple different products for sale because sometimes it leads to option overload. So I'll limit it, but maybe 3 to 5 different products, and each one has a discount. All right, so get my author email challenge for 40% off. Get my Get Book Reviews challenge for 50% off. I'll have like a few different products, and you can buy one or all of these things, as many of these things as you want, and each is its own kind of special offer. Another thing to consider, and that is if there's other affiliates, a lot of times you'll find other people offering Black Friday deals. So if it's not your own offer, you might be able to find a good affiliate offer that you can promote. I don't know if I'll be promoting the email service that I use or not, but maybe it'll come up because I mostly promote my own products. But I know I use Kit and they have like a special Black Friday thing. I use Publisher Rocket and I think they have a Black Friday sale. So there might be affiliate products that have a Black Friday offer, and so that might be something to consider. A combination approach. I think I've done this before where after they purchase a product in any upsells, they go to the thank you page And it's like, check out these other Black Friday special deals that you might enjoy. So maybe I'm selling my own product, and then on the thing, so if I'm selling to authors, okay, so they get an email challenge. Great, congratulations. By the way, here's some other great Black Friday specials for authors you might enjoy, and put on Publisher Rocket and some other stuff, right? Maybe don't make a ton of sales from that, like doing a direct promotion, but your thank you page is like free advertising space. This is something also, by the way, where on your thank you page, you can mention other products of yours that they might be interested in, as well as these affiliate products. Pre-orders. I brought that up. So for many of you, maybe if you don't have your book done, but you're working on it, now could be a good time to get people to pre-order the book. They could pre-order it at a discount. If you want to say when the book is going to be delivered, that can create a nice little deadline for you to say, like, maybe it'll be out by January 1st or whatever. So then that'll be a little bit of a fire lit to go, okay, well, now I better go ahead and get my book done by January 1st or whatever, date you want to set. Um, I mentioned this, if you have people who've bought an offer already, you might segment your audience and send one offer to one part of your audience and send a different offer to a different part of your audience. And limited quantity things are something you can do as well. So it doesn't make as much sense with digital products, but if there's any sort of live coaching component where you might only be able to handle a certain number of students coming out of the live calls, like, hey, I want to keep this to, be a tight knit group. Or I mentioned I've done like a lifetime deal, but I don't want to do that. That's not for everyone, but for like special kind of VIP clients, it's like, hey, you can get lifetime access to this instead of having to pay every month. You get lifetime access. And so things that usually have a recurring revenue model, it doesn't always make the most sense to do that. I'm not saying anyone who has a recurring revenue should necessarily offer lifetime because it could actually cost you more in the long term. For me, I kind of go, well, if I limit it to a few people and they're people who, I really want to reward, or you think, you know what, if someone's going, if my average customer time on board is 6 months for something, but I could get paid for a year from them. And if they get a year or 2 years worth of it, then they get it for life or whatever. It could work out. The math could work out. That's something you got to take on a case by case basis. But whether or not it's a recurring revenue model, the idea of limited quantities of certain things can be another way of creating that scarcity. And then last point I wanted to make, which I know many of you have experience with marketing or you study John's trainings and some of this other stuff. It's still worth the reminder, though, of just how many sales come in at the last minute. So the final day of a promotion, I mean, 2 emails minimum. I would say 3 emails is a good, almost kind of minimum amount to say, email early in the morning. Hey, it's the last day. Another reminder in the afternoon. And when there's just a few hours left or the final hours are coming up, another reminder email. Just so many of the sales can come in on those last minute things that people will wait. And it's also a good point where, if, like, I have sales that run like from Black Friday and then end on Cyber Monday, at the end of Cyber Monday, the exact same offer sent to my audience, I might make 2, 3 times as many sales just on the last day as on the first day. Sometimes even more than that. So if you don't see a ton of sales right at the beginning and you have multiple days for it, just realize that might not, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad offer. It might just mean that people are waiting until the last minute, and how important it is to have those final reminders. All right. So that was a quick breakdown. Now, based off of what I just said, I shared a few ideas. I would hope each of you can come up with something. Maybe it's a pre-order. Maybe it's an affiliate offer. Maybe it's some bundle or just even a discount. So I'd like to hear in the chat, or if you want to unmute, what's at least an idea? You don't have to commit to 100%, but an idea for something that you could do for Black Friday and or Cyber Monday. Yep, so Paul's got the bundle. Awesome. And if you still don't know, you can say, I don't know. And then we can discuss it if you'd like to. But I think every single person here can have something, either an I don't know or, hey, maybe this is something I could do. Again, you don't have to commit to it. Okay, contemplating a membership special offer. Awesome. Also making time to look at your new promo prompt tools. Do you have the URL handy? For which thing specifically, Paul, were you talking about the promo prompt?
I remember like 4 weeks ago, you showed a couple of things that you had added, and I've been like had a little note to myself to go and look for those. There were like prompts for how to come up with, there were things that are not built into Book Builder, but you would shown a little library and you said you were adding things, and I was like, kind of like Glenn or somebody was saying, there's so many things in Book Builder that I just don't even remember, and I was just curious if you remembered where you put those. Oh, maybe that's
Is it these AI offer tool or
I
these
think
AI
so.
tools?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is in
Where is
your
that? In the 90-day income system.
90-day income system.
Okay. And then
So if
what
you're
in
in
like the
Circle
last lesson or something?
under
Yep.
Writer to Wealth, 90-day income system.
Okay. So once I get into 90-day income system, because I think I've started that, but I've never finished it. It's step 2.
It's all throughout it.
Okay, got
So
it.
not every single step, but these different things. And by the way, about this, I mean, we have steps, it goes in a step-by-step fashion. This is something we talked about, though, at the beginning. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to go through all of these things. I think there's a benefit for every single thing in here. That said, you might be like, well, I'm really pretty well set on my emails right now. Of course, you might go through this and get new ideas for emails and other ways to tweak your emails and stuff like that. But maybe if your priority right now, let's just say, getting book reviews, right? You might just jump right to this section or spend, some time going through this, or, maybe it's getting booked on podcasts as your priority for the next, couple months. So it's not like you necessarily have to do steps 1 through 6 before going through here. There's a certain logic, though, in that if you're getting on podcasts, but you don't even have a lead magnet to offer people when you go on the podcast, then you want to have that done first, which is why things like lead magnets and emails and stuff are covered earlier on. So there's a logic to it. You can kind of jump around in there.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. I would like to see. I mean, I'm just curious what's going on. If we don't see anything in here, only a couple people mentioned either, or mentioned their ideas. So, uh, if you don't want to do something for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I guess you can say that. But I don't know what's going on if I don't hear any feedback in terms of your ideas, your lack of ideas, things like that. So, one of the things that I want to do, especially on these calls, and we have training that we come on and we do. The main goal with these calls, though, is to provide some coaching, to provide some feedback, to work through ideas, to say, here's how you can tailor it to your situation, and stuff like that. So, um, going forward, I'd say a couple things. I don't have set dates for this, but I'd like to go through some people's welcome sequences. So your email welcome sequence, your first 1 to 3 emails that you send to people, and see how you're kind of onboarding them. We've done this before, but again, taking a look at any of your sales pages. That's another big thing. And it could be your book descriptions and stuff like that. One of the highest value things though is your actual strategy. Because like you see with Paul, for instance, like there's a number of different ways you can bundle that together and position it and things like that. And it's not necessarily one right or wrong way. So as you bring things up or show us what you're working on or say, hey, here's my sales page or here's how it is, we might say, hey, this is good, but actually highlight this part or make this the main offer and this a secondary thing. There's these little things that we can only really get into if we actually see it and if you're willing to come on and share these things. So that's something. And that's not just limited to the things I just mentioned. If there's anything else you want us to take a look at, then that is one of the best ways for you to get the most value out of this group is actual eyes on your material, your offers, your positioning, your sales copy, all of that. Okay, well, with that, any final questions? If not, love to know what's at least one takeaway that you've gotten from the session today.
Well, for me, I think it was just helping me think things out and reaffirming that the $99 price point was kind of a magic thing for Black Friday. I wasn't sure if I should go over that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously depends on the audience and stuff like that. I find that that's usually depending on the market, that's I think that's actually probably going to be pretty close to what the whatever we're doing for Benson for Black Friday, probably like a 99 or 199 type of offer. With the obvious potential for upsells and things with any of these things.
Well, and I'll also say, like, as I was just speaking to you, I'm like, wait a minute, what about doing a full, like, I was attached to the five, and you were saying not necessarily, but because it's friends, family, and a potential romantic partner, what if I were to offer Authenticity Live, the 149 to everybody, and do like a $250 for, everybody gets it.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's also ways, again, you have to factor in if this makes sense for you. It could be, if you get this, I'm going to give you one free ticket for a partner or family member or something like that.
Maybe
Not
that's
saying
even
you
better.
have
Yeah.
to do a free ticket, but for something like that, I mean, is it going to be like a Zoom type of thing?
Yeah.
That you
And
do?
it's
Yeah.
practice on the things in the book.
Yeah. So it might be maybe if other times of the year everyone has to buy their own ticket, maybe for Black Friday, it's they get a free ticket to invite a friend, a family member, or a potential, a loved one, a partner, romantic partner, something like that.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hmm. All right, cool. Well, we'll wrap it up, and most of you probably celebrating Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving coming up, and then we'll be back in a couple weeks. All right, wishing you the best. Take care.
Thanks.